Frederic, we've heard from Doug in terms of his take, but let's hear what you think about Lagardere Travel Retail's unique approach to travel retail, how really this sets you apart from other retailers.
I do think that we have a very different business model, and therefore we propose a very unique choice in the industry. Doug described the USP we have. This USP, and in particular the ability to combine three businesses together, duty-free, tri-essentials and food service, provides us with a very unique opportunity, a very unique choice we propose on the market. From an airport perspective or a train station perspective, this ability to combine the three businesses gives us the power to maximize, to optimize the real estate from our brand partners or landlord partners. That's a key point.
It requires a different skill base as well, doesn't it?
No doubt, no doubt. But we're organized in the right manner, I think. I am in charge of three different teams. One in duty-free, headed by Ambroise Fondeur, who is providing the global expertise related to duty-free and fashion worldwide. I have another one in food service and a different one, a third one, and the three teams are splitted in order to bring the right expertise tailor-made to the countries. This ability to optimize real estate is, we think, a tremendous asset from a financial perspective, but also from an experience perspective. It's a bit more difficult or more challenging to measure what experience is, but we think it's also a great opportunity from a landlord perspective, but also from a consumer perspective, to create much more seamless, much more experiential commercial experiences, and therefore create superior interaction and ultimately, we hope, superior sales.
I take it that's a generalist approach to the three different sectors, but let's just drill it down into what each one specifically delivers to your partners.
Well, let's start with duty-free and fashion. No debate, this is the big part of the cake.
It's the engine room.
It is the engine room. This business provides size and scale worldwide, at country level, and obviously when discussing with landlords. This one is a key part, is a key component of our strategy, obviously. Food service is a bit different. We do believe that in food we have, as an industry, we have a tremendous opportunity to create superior experiences. It's probably the business in which we can bring the highest level of novelties. It's the business where we can develop restaurants that are perfectly in line with the spirit of the place, with the spirit of the moment. And this area of creativity, we think, at least that's what we try to do as a company, is a tremendous way to differentiate between airports, between train stations, and to engage in a much more experiential manner.
So what about travel essentials then? That's the third leg, as it were, of your business.
Well, tri-essentials is not only the historical part of Lagardere Travel Retail, but also a key component of our strategy in the future. We believe it is and it will remain a very important need expressed by travelers. We want to leverage our global expertise and our global leadership in that business. And we definitely continue to invest and to grow this segment. Relay is one of the very few brands that exist in the industry worldwide from a B2C perspective. We're investing in that and in other additional concepts, more niche, more specific, but that contribute to better serve our partners, the landlords, and obviously the consumers.
With your recent acquisition of Paradise, how are you going to brand their product? Will they become Relay, or will they stay with the Paradise name? Or will it be Paradise by Lagardere?
From a store perspective, we definitely want to have cross synergies in terms of expertise, in terms of know-how, and in terms of assets. The teams in the US have very sharp expertise in some very specific business areas. I have in mind visual merchandising, for instance. I think my teams have a lot of things to learn from them and then to bring to the rest of the world. Reversely, we have some very strong expertise as well in the rest of the group and strong assets, such as Relay as a concept, that we want to bring to the US market, obviously while respecting the local specificities, local expectations from our customers in the US, be it US airports or US travelers. So we will combine, we will develop Relay in the US, but we will obviously in the US as anywhere else in the world be very careful at crafting the appropriate solution matching with the needs of airports and the needs of travelers.
I want to go on to how you are nurturing your digital communications and what place in your organization you feel digital channels may have.
Well, that's a very good and very tricky question. Out of the few industry challenges, this one is probably one of the most difficult to crack. We are working on it. We're working on it as a group. We need to work on that as an industry. I do not believe at all that the industry is immune of the digital wave that is happening worldwide and in all businesses. In particular, when looking at the volume in dollar terms of value created by the business, we are all collectively facing the risk of massive disruption. We need to work on that. We have some ideas. We need to work on that with our partners, the airports. We have to work on that with some brands, and we have engaged some discussions with some brand partners as well. It's probably a deep shift in the industry that will be required because, and it's a fact of life, our population, our consumptions are more and more active, more and more living with this digital world, and we cannot expect that they will stop looking at Facebook or more generally their iPhones and devices, whatever they are, when entering a train station or when entering an airport.
You have a reputation for, as Doug said, for operational excellence, but also for customer service, but beyond that, for design, for newness, for a freshness to your overall travel retail approach. Would just take us through some clear examples of your best work to date.
Well, let's do it business line by business line. Starting with duty free, no doubt what we do in Charles de Gaulle S4 stands out and is, we believe, a world-class operation. We are very proud of that. Our intention is definitely to replicate, not in the Parisian style, obviously, but in the Abu Dhabian style, similar level of execution in Abu Dhabi in the next years. On the fashion side, what we are currently doing with Changi, another international hub, on the luxury fashion side is also definitely a very nice achievement, we believe, that is worth being looked at global level. Not looking only at international hubs, we're very happy developing in more regional airports. The very recent openings we did in Nice and more recently in London Luton, we think also are not only nice executions, but from a marketing perspective, a real conceptual breakthrough in the way we execute such multi-category stores. We are very happy with that, and that's something we have in mind to replicate in all these kind of airports that are in our strategy absolutely critical.
We touched upon it earlier. How do you see your food and beverage business developing in the years to come?
Well, from a development perspective, we have in mind to develop either in parallel of the existing operations that we already run in the countries where we operate, but also to enter new countries. And we did that last year in Iceland. We opened a new country with the food business because we are confident that we can bring new things to the market and convince our business partners from the first shot and not necessarily as an addition to existing duty-free or Travel Essentials businesses. In terms of profile of activity, we intend to develop both in-house concepts, and we have quite a lot of in-house concepts, either tailor-made for the travel environment on a global scale or very specific, such as La Plage in Nice, very in line with, in that case, the sense of place, the spirit of Côte d'Azur. And that's an axis we definitely want to push, in-house concepts. On top of that, we know that we need to provide, in some cases, high street brands. We work on that. We have already the confidence of a lot of big names in the food business. We're working with McDonald's, with Burger King, with Costa, with Paul, and many others. And these high street brands, we are more than happy to bring them, and ideally to innovate by bringing new high street brands to the market, to our airports and train station partners. From a marketing perspective, whatever the way we develop, we want, because we think it's critical, to create that emotion. In the airport, the food business is probably the most emotional part. And that's the ground on which we can build much more engagement with the consumers, much more excitement, much more surprise. And we're working on that. It means architecture, obviously, but it also means recipes, it means service, it means a lot of things. We think out of all the commercial space that exists in a station or a terminal, this is the place where airports can differentiate the most. And that's what we would like to play on in the future. We already do that. We already do that in Nice, in Venice, and I think we can go one step further.